Hey, what's going on? This is Jason Myers, and this is a Canon EOS 60D that I bought about an hour ago. I decided to do a quick unboxing video for anybody that might be taking a look at this camera as well. It's part of the new generation of HDSLRs that's coming out this fall, and I decided to pull the trigger on it because it's a camera that I'm hoping will do stills photography as well as video really well. I hope it's a good combination of both. And it's my first Canon too. I come from a family of Nikon users, so this will be interesting first chance for me to try out a Canon DSLR. So let's see what's going on here. So owner's manual, warranty, registration cards, software, and I'm actually really interested in this. There is a application that Canon has that will allow you to control their HDSLRs from Windows or Macintosh. And so the thing that's going to be nice about this is I have a laptop, so I'll have to give that a try. I usually go out in the field with it, and if there's a way that I can use it while I'm shooting to work through shots, that might be really useful. So we have this is the 18135 kit, and so this is the body. And it feels really good. It's a plastic body, but even though it's really sturdy, feeling. And so there we have it. It's really nice. One of the big things that it has for the first time in a Canon camera, which a lot of people are interested in, is this articulating screen. It essentially allows you to use the camera in a bunch of situations where the camera might be better below or above eye line. And so one of the things that I'm looking forward to is being able to give that a try. And the other thing that's very cool about it is that it has a mic input, which I'm going to be taking advantage of. It's essentially going to be something that I will attempt to use with an external microphone and maybe a preamp. I know a lot of people use the Zoom recorder along with their cameras, but I'm going to try to use the onboard audio just to see if it's possible to figure out a good workflow for it. The other thing that I like about it too is that it shoots 30p and 24p video. And the thing that's important for me is that I want to try to minimize the amount of time that I spend working on footage before I bring it in to applications I want to edit or composite with. And so my hope is that the progressive 30 and 24 will be very cool if I want to go and use the frames right into the computer, or if I want to take and transcode them to ProRes. I hopefully won't have to do anything to de-interlace the footage or make it so that I can use it frame by frame in a compositor or editor. So that's the camera, and then it comes as well with it's a 18 by 135 zoom lens. And this is going to be probably the only zoom lens I buy, at least for a while. I mean, I definitely might buy some in the future. But one of the things that I'm really interested in is wide lenses and fast glass. So any lenses that I get in the future will probably be, real wide aperture, fast, wide lenses that I will use to try to do close-up shots on subjects that I'm going to be doing effects with, but where I'll need to include a lot of the background. And so essentially this is a cool starter lens for me. It will fill sort of the zoom role in any kind of shooting where I need that, but for the most part my next lenses will be much wider, faster glass. This has a couple of controls on it. Basically, it's got stabilization and then auto and manual focus. But for the most part, the one thing about this camera is that it does not include focusing, or at least autofocus, while recording video. And so I'm okay with that because I'd really like to practice and see if I can pull focus while I'm actually recording with the camera. I know that might get old after a while, and so it'll be interesting to experiment with the GH2 when it comes out. But the thing that I'm really looking forward to is getting this lens on correctly. Okay. Alright. So there we have it. So basically, here's a camera. It's actually, you know, I have bigger hands, and I've held the GH2 and the GH1, and I think those cameras are really amazing. I do like the idea that this camera fits in my hand well. There's a bit of weight to it, and I do a lot of mounting of my cameras to cars. I do a lot of highway photography, and one of the things that I would like to see is what it's going to take to suspend this camera safely while driving. To be really honest, it's not a cheap camera, and that's going to be important to make sure that the camera is safe while I'm using it for those shots. But overall, you know, I really like it a lot. I'm excited about the stills use. I know a lot of people are looking at this as a video camera, but I think one of the things that's really cool is if you can have both. I think that that's going to be a good camera for a lot of people, because in the end, you know, photography, whether it's still or motion, is photography, and if you have to exclude one of them to get the other, like you sort of have to do in some of the other cameras, it's a little bit of a shame, because you know, sometimes there's a need for both, and for me that's really important. So I'm glad I hopefully don't have to compromise, and I'm excited. If this is a good video camera, then this will have been a really good choice. The only other things that come in the box, EOS 60D neck strap, charger. So it looks a lot like the Nikon chargers I have. It's pretty similar, actually. The other thing that's really nice is that the battery that comes with the camera is, if I'm correct, it's the LPE6. So I believe that this is the same battery that's used in the 7D and the 5D Mark II. And so for anybody who has a collection of batteries as well, it's really nice, the consistency. For instance, one of the things about the GH2 is it uses a slightly different battery than the GH1, if I read correctly. And you know, that's at least a little bit of a shame. So if that's true, I believe that's what I read. But it's nice that the batteries are compatible across a couple different models, because I think a lot of people would get this as a B-roll camera, and would basically be attempting to fill out their camera lineup, but without necessarily breaking the bank on, you know, a whole collection of 5Ds over and over and over again. They could get this possibly as a B-roll camera or as a main camera and work with 7D, or they could go and work with a 5D Mark II, or they could work with Red. But in the end, you know, if the components are pretty similar, that's helpful. So essentially, let's see here, we got on button, and there we are. So yeah, I'm going to go and I'm going to configure this, and one of the things I'm going to be doing pretty soon is an overheat test. A lot of people are really interested in that. I have an 8 GB memory card, and so I'm hopeful that this will be at least a decent test. I might have to empty the card and keep going just to see, you know, what kind of time I can get out of it. But from what I've been hearing, a lot of people have been having really good results. So the overheating that was happening with the 7D doesn't seem to be as prevalent, and I'm hopeful for that, because, you know, one of those things that's sort of a technical limitation of some of these cameras is their chip processing the video and overheating. And so if you have to constantly worry about that, especially if it's something that's unexpected and a little unpredictable, I know people were saying 12 to 15 minutes, but if this camera just doesn't do that, then, you know, you can focus on things like actually pulling focus, you know, working around the limitations of the camera audio, or one of the other things that might come along with this, as opposed to getting an actual camcorder. And then finally, the only other thing, USB cable, pretty unexciting, and then audio and video cable. So yeah, that's the lineup. This is the Canon 60D. Yeah, I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching.